of you and a heartfelt namaste. I, Anuradha, thank all of you for liking, sharing, and subscribing to my YouTube and Spotify channels and writing in your comments and suggestions there. Today, we are going to talk about Atmakaraka moon because we've already made a video on Atmakaraka sun, and if you haven't watched that, please do let us know after watching how you found that. When we move on to the Atmakaraka, the question is, how do I see which planet for me is the Atmakaraka? Because it's a very important planet. It tells us what is the path that we need to traverse in this lifetime. So to find the Atmakaraka, we'll take a good look at our Rasi chart and we see the planet which has traveled most in a sign. The degrees of the planet in any sign, we don't consider the sign, which is most traveled is the planet which is the Atmakaraka. So for example, when we have a look, there is a planet which is in 28 degree, 25 degree, 30, 23 degrees or 13 degrees, 3 degrees. So the planet that is at 28 degrees, because it is the most traveled planet, doesn't matter about the sign, that becomes the Atmakaraka, not any other planet. So when moon becomes the Atmakaraka for us, then it also has a lot of things that it can tell us. Now, this Atmakaraka planet, after finding which is the Atmakaraka planet, we take that planet and check out its placement in the D9 chart in terms of the sign that it has occupied. Once we understand the sign that the D9, the planet, the Atmakaraka planet has occupied in the D9, we will be able to establish the soul's path with this combination. That is, if moon, which is our Atmakaraka for today's topic, is in Aries in the D9, then what kind of behavior would it tell us? Before we move on to the results of Atmakaraka moon in different signs, let us check out what the Karakatvas of moon is. Now, moon resonates totally with the mother, and mother is somebody who's caring, loving, compassionate, very in tune with the child's emotions. So the moon is very much a part of our mother, and it also shows the bent of mind. The way a person thinks can be understood from the presence of moon in a certain sign, in a certain nakshatra. And when we talk about the Atmakaraka, the way the person would function when we find it in the certain D9 Rasi. The changes that we see in lives are because of change in our thought process. It is a change in our way of looking at things, and moon is a planet that is responsible for them, because moon also denotes lots of changes. Moon is said to be very beautiful, and in many ways we depict beauty through moon. So another karaka of moon is beauty. Moon, as we said, it resonates with all kinds of emotions, be it the love and affection, be it the happiness, or be it anger, jealousy. All those emotions can be seen from moon. Moon, because it resonates with beauty, and beauty can be enhanced with good jewelry, refined clothing. So all those things also fall under the purview of moon. Finally, moon also brings us name and fame, because let's not forget, it is the luminary, the second one, which gives us light after the sun. So yes, it brings light, name, and fame in our lives. So now we begin with how the moon would, in different rashis of the D9 as an Atmakaraka, give its results. When we talk about the moon in Aries as an Atmakaraka of the D9, then in that case, we know that the person would be a person who is very much involved with his or her own self, has a mind frame that takes good care of the health of the person also, because moon also shows health habits, and it also healthy habits, and it also shows about a person who can lead others, the person who is a malleable leader, because not only is Aries a malleable sign or a movable sign, it also, with moon being an Atmakaraka, it means that the person has the ability to modulate themselves according to the situation. One thing that we need to know here is when the moon is in the dark half, it's said to be weak. The influences on the mind, especially negative influences, are very easily absorbed, and the mind is susceptible to a lot of changes. It is susceptible to a lot of fears, and in such case, we can change our decisions very easily, or we can be very resistant to change depending on many other factors when the mind is influenced by negative factors. On the other hand, when the moon is in the bright half, it is strong, and the person is capable of taking decisions on their own fearlessly, and also at times in a very aggressive manner if there is a benefic influence also, or if Mars is also influencing. So the influence of planets, the dark and the light half or the bright half, will also make a lot of difference as to judging the placement of moon as an Atmakaraka. That has to be understood very well. So when we talk about moon in Aries as an Atmakaraka, it is important to understand that with the due influence of the bright and the dark half, this moon is malleable enough to change and lead others according to the situational demand, and can make a good and compassionate leaders for others, person who leads by example. And this is also a person who has a lot of interest in health care, because moon also represents the health part of the body. When we talk about the moon in the Taurus sign, it is very important to understand that this is a place where moon gets exalted and it's a fixed sign. So a person may not be very susceptible to change as such, but the person can have a strong association with family value system. A person would be very interested in doing a kind of study that would give a very practical results, because this is also a practical sign, and would want to create wealth and also accumulate wealth, because moon has a habit of accumulation. It is the ruler of the fourth house of the natural zodiac. When we talk about moon in the sign of Gemini as an Atmakaraka in the D9, then we understand that such a person is very intelligent, well conversant with number of topics, a person who is able to relate to many things and understand many things. However, such people are not emotional and are more practical or more forward thinking in terms of their thought process, and they are good friends and confidence, because this is an airy sign. So people can voice out their opinions to them, and these people make good friends. Moon as an Atmakaraka in the sign of Cancer talks about a person who is emotional, and talks about a person who is good to understand the workings of others. Such a person would be silent observer, would like to see things very carefully before they comment on such things. Moon in the sign also gives people an ability to silently collect or accumulate things, and it gives them an excellent memory. Such people change their views of others only after careful consideration, and are very wary of getting hurt by others. When moon as the Atmakaraka is placed in the sign of Leo in the D9, such a person will have an ability to attract people. That is, their knowledge, their presence would be so strong, because moon also brings you name and fame, and this is the sign of name and fame. And how does one get name and fame? Having the discretion what kind of knowledge to apply in which kind of situation will bring this person a lot of name and fame. As we move into the sign of Virgo, Virgo is a sign of wealth and it is also a sign of service. Also, it is a sign where one wins a lot of competitive exams. So there is a discretion. This moon here gives you a discretion to be able to decide which kind of competition you want to enter, whom you are entering about. Understand your enemies, because the Virgo sign also talks about rogue ripurin, which means the kind of diseases one can have, the kind of enemies one can have, or the kind of debt you want to take. When moon is placed in this sign as an Atmakaraka, you have a lot of debt towards others, and it's better not to accumulate debt on yourself and let go of your debts. These people have a lot of discrimination and have the ability to choose what area of life they want to enter into, and they do it with great discretion and know how to win competitions. As we talk about moon being the Atmakaraka and being placed in the sign of Libra and the D sign, D9, these people are very attracted towards partnerships. These people would want partners in life who are exalted or who are at a good position, and they can then exhibit those partners to others, or their mind frame is totally into their partnerships, where they are attracted towards the workings of their partners, and they also make good money from such partners. These people are also very flamboyant, such that they have a physical presence wherever they go. Moon in the sign of Scorpio, when we talk about moon as an Atmakaraka in the D9, this person would not be very visible to others, as opposed to what I just said about the Libra moon in the D9. But when we talk about that same moon as an Atmakaraka and posited in Scorpio in the D9, then such a person would be keeping a low profile. However, the person would understand the matters of finances very carefully and very beautifully. Such people are very observant, are very careful of their standing in society, and do not think twice about handling such issues very quietly, very straightforwardly. So this is very important to understand, that moon as an Atmakaraka in Scorpio will give you huge observation policies, abilities. If the moon is beneficially aspected in the D9, in such case, this moon can also lead you towards accumulation of wealth, but also towards divinity. At the same time, if this moon as an Atmakaraka is aspected by malefics, it can lead you towards perversion also. So this moon as an Atmakaraka is something that one needs to be very careful about. When moon is your Atmakaraka and it is placed in the sign of Sagittarius, one would like to understand truth through their mind. That means they would be very intellectual to begin with, and they would be thinking things emotionally as well as intellectually. The finding for them is always the truth. They would want to know, understand as to what the divine laws are, and as such they would want to do justice to others. Let's not forget, the sign of Sagittarius and the mind pulls you towards being fair and square with everybody. So this is something that they would want to understand. And moving deep down, assessing situations would be something that comes naturally to such people. And they will make good inquisitors. They would know how to stand their ground irrespective of what. And that continues in the sign of Capricorn, when we find moon is the Atmakaraka and placed in the sign of Capricorn in the D9. Such people here are more concentrated with their work. They need to be very work oriented, and they also want to be very strong, make their presence very strongfully. It's not just about a physical presence. They want to be on everybody's mind, and they stand very tall on their ideologies. Their ideologies are subject to change only when it is aspected or it is in conjunction with malefics. Otherwise, if benefics aspect such a moon, then these people like to be very good at whatever work they do, especially administration. And these are the people who would bring about changes in the administrative process for the betterment of others. When we talk about moon being an Atmakaraka and being placed in Aquarius in the D9, in such a case, these people are have a very forward moving thought process. But if they write things down, it will be better, because then their thoughts, because it's also a fixed sign, their thoughts can take a definite shape and can be very constructive. This is a sign which brings in a lot of scientists. So moon as an Atmakaraka in this sign can give a person a scientific approach to life, and such a person would be able to create a lot of things in life. Finally, when we talk about the sign of Pisces, where moon is placed, and that moon is an Atmakaraka, then in the D9, this would show that the person can suffer a lot, can be insulted, but the person would also have a lot of name and fame. Let's not forget, it can create Vipreet Rajyog for you. So that is a place where a person would be subjected to some humiliation. The mind will have to learn to let go and would have to learn to think about bigger and better projects in life, and that would lead one to become a hero on a very big level. So this mind will also be very charitable. It will be very sensitive to the emotions of others. We will take a look at a few charts and we'll see how this Atmakaraka would be working for them. Moon here being the Atmakaraka that we're talking about. For the chart of Carl Lewis, we know his moon is the Atmakaraka, and that moon is placed in the sign of Virgo. As I told you, being in Virgo, it gave him the ability to pick up the right kind of profession that he wanted and make good money out of it. Also, that moon gave him the competitive spirit that led him to become one of the legends in the world of athlete. This moon was also responsible, because it's in the 8th house in the D9, it was also responsible for his breakup with his wife, because his mind did not, or his mental facility did not go with that of his wife. When we talk about Pavel Durov, the creator of Telegram that you see today, he also has a moon which is the Atmakaraka for him. Such a moon for him is Vargottam, because it's in the same sign, and being and this moon then brings him international name and fame. Yes, it also brought him insults, because he had to leave his country. He simply felt very dejected by the policies of his country and left his country without much thought. But on a very large level, he's very well known, very appreciated, and a very rich person in every sense of the word. When we talk about Vincent van Gogh, his paintings today sell at exorbitant prices, and moon was his Atmakaraka, that too in the sign of Scorpio in the D1, and in the D9 it's in the 12th house. Again, if you go through his life history, you would know very well that initially he did not have money. In fact, he died as a pauper, so to speak, or bankrupt. But now it is his paintings that are getting worldwide name and fame and are selling for prices that are not even disclosed in public. Let's talk about Marie Curie. Marie Curie's moon is again an Atmakaraka for her, and placed in the 2nd house of the natural zodiac, that is in the sign of Taurus. What does it talk to us about? It talks to us about education. It talks about ethics. It talks to us about being practical, because though she had made many discoveries, she also taught us how to practically apply her discoveries. That is what won her the 2 Nobel Prizes. So we see that moon as an Atmakaraka does touch upon our imagination and our emotions, and it gives us name and fame also, depending on its position. So if you have your moon as an Atmakaraka in your D9 and try to understand, locate the placement of it in the D9 of your chart or the chart of any other person, and do let us know how you found it, how it works in your chart. Till we meet with you again,
Please
stay
hit the
safe.
bell icon for fresh updates. Don't forget to like, share, and comment on the videos, and please subscribe to our channel.